Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you're in person and providing public comment, comment cards are in the back of the room. For our our attendees joining via Zoom, good morning. If you raise your hand, I will call on you for public comment and we'll get started to see who's here to provide public comment. Good morning, Audit LA. Do you have general public comment and multiple item commentary?
Good morning, Devin. Yeah, all of it, but I have a question because it seems like there's 3 meetings today. So do we have to wait for each meeting to deal with the agenda items, or is it all going to be?
There's 2 meetings today, our 10 o'clock and then a special at 11 o'clock. So sorry, what was your question?
Okay, because there's 3 meetings listed. So like when we give our public comment, I know the other meeting doesn't have public comment, but will we give the agenda items on separately, or because like on the first meeting, I want to do minutes, neighborhood council, and then talk about um, the ceremony, and then with the second one, I want to talk on the two
The second meeting
different.
will just have 1 minute for the item commentary, so I'll put you down for that.
Okay, in the first meeting, I would talk
The
do
first
the
meeting will
other.
be 2 for minutes and the item.
Okay, and I want to talk on the neighborhood council too, though.
Okay, I'll confirm with our city attorney if that's considered an item. We'll let you know. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, tell them I always do. Tell them I'll
Okay.
fight them if not.
Caller, Children's Voices Matter. Do you have public comment today, general public comment or item commentary? You can go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know. I'll come back to you. I see Laura's hand raised. Good morning, Laura. Do you have general public comment and item, or public, well, sorry, I can't speak, multiple item commentary?
Yes, good morning, and yes on all of
Okay,
those.
thank you.
Thank you.
And one more call, Children's Voices Matter. I see your hand raised. You could go ahead and unmute yourself. Let us know. If not, I'll just put you down and we'll check when we start the meeting. Good morning, everyone. We'll get started shortly. If there's anyone joining us in person to provide general public comment, comment cards are in the back of the room. You can fill it out and bring it up front. If you're on the Zoom platform, please raise your hand so we can call on you. Georgina, good morning. Do you have general public comment or comment on any of our agenda items?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, public comment and a general agenda items, please, or
Okay.
all agenda items, please.
Thank you.
For everybody's awareness, for our regular meeting at 10, we're going to be providing everybody with 60 seconds of general public comment, and multiple is only 2 minutes. It's only 2 minutes, either minutes and or presentation.
Thank you, President King. Going to do another check of the hands raised. Nora Caller, Nora Ames, do you have general public comment today or comment on any of our agenda items? Go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know.
Sorry, that took a second. My Zoom
no
was
worries.
loading.
Do you have?
General and multiple, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Gigi, I see you have your hand raised. Do you have general public comment or comment on any agenda items?
Just general public comment, please.
Thank you very much. She's good. You want me? Ready? Okay, let me put us in record mode and we are now recording. We can go ahead and get started.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Friday, May 29th, 2026. Ms. Zatorsky, please take roll and establish quorum.
Of course, Devin Zatorsky with the Board of Public Works, taking role in establishing quorum. We're joined by President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell. We're also joined by our City Attorney Representative, Ms. Daryl Field. We do have general public comment today and multiple item commentary, all via the Zoom platform.
Thank you very much. So before we take public comment, we have two special presentations this morning. One honoring one of our own, Elise Matson, our executive officer here at the Board of Public Works. And second, as we wrap up the month of May, we are celebrating the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So first, I would like to invite our executive officer to the podium as we honor her service here at the board and at the City of Los Angeles. So Elise, we talked, and for all of the folks in the audience, Today is Elise's last day here at the Board of Public Works and at the Department of Public Works. She is moving on to the LA Zoo, so she's not going far. She's going to be the new assistant GM over at the zoo. So please, if you're planning to visit the zoo, please say hi. But she has been a tremendous asset here at the board and our department. In the last few months, she also served as Mayor Bass's budget director, ensuring that infrastructure is well reflected and invested in our city's upcoming fiscal year. So before we hear from Elise, I want to ask my fellow colleagues to provide their brief remarks related to Elise Masson. So President Pro Tem Grant, would you do the honors of kicking it off?
Sure. You know, for a while now, you've been managing all of us animals. Now at least you get the title. I have a roll of these, so just be prepared. So it turns out the animals are now going to get one of the best administrators from the city of Los Angeles. You've kept the city running, its infrastructure. Now you get to keep it wild. And as you move from infrastructure to fauna, still serving Los Angeles, at least the scenery is going to be much better. I just want to say, I think, and I'm sure it'll be echoed, your compassion, your expertise, your approachability, the way you've sort of gently guided us in terms of, especially myself, with questions has just been, and it made me a better commissioner and able to serve the people of Los Angeles. And the mark of a strong leader, of a good leader, is that things are better when you leave than when you arrived. And I feel much better, and I think the board is much better from your guidance, and we really appreciate your service. And we'll miss you, but I'm hearing that they're partying now in the hippopotamus pool that you're coming over. So good luck.
Next, Vice President Chavez.
Tough to follow that. Well, Elise, I just have to say it plainly. While I am genuinely thrilled for you, I'm sad for us. And having had the opportunity to have interviewed with you when you were first seeking the role, you know, I saw in you this incredible leadership ability to lead with both rigor and heart. And I think you did that really well, especially with the staff in the board office. And I know that you touched and led with that compassion. And I know that, and I see that carrying you through into your new role. And I am very, very jealous of the LA Zoo. But I did also want to especially commend your work with the mayor's office on the budget team this year. I think that our department's ability to deliver for Los Angeles City residents is in no small part due to your work that you did. So just know that, that everywhere you see, when you see streets being paved and city crews out there doing work, that you had something to do with that. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Commissioner Mitchell.
Okay, Elise, I was just reflecting on where we were when you came in and where we were 20 days into a Palisades fire on January 27, 2025. And then about 4 days later, LA Fire finally put it out. So you work miracles. You do work miracles. And then, of course, we had to institute with your arrival what would be the song of the day on Pandora. And I remember, for the most part, not every Friday, but after last year's budget and during last year's budgetary process, it was money, 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 money. And then when we managed to get through without having anybody laid off, it was celebrate, good times. And speaking of good times, you're a great budget director. Thank you so much. The whole city is so happy. Probably the earliest, and certainly the time that we've been here, under 2 years, but probably even in the earliest of the most difficult times in financial history of the city, that the budget, everybody was kind of happy with. So we're happy that the mayor's found the infinite wisdom to keep you on as the next year's budget director, and we hope that the Department of Public Works does as well as it did under your tenure as the director of public, or the budget director. You've been gone so long as a budget director, it's like I'm almost forgot, but we had to have today's song. It's Friday, you're leaving us. But, we'll see each other because, we'll be right there by the zoo when we have Spring Fling next year. So today's song was I'm Coming Out. So she's coming out of City Hall, but she'll be back. And she's bought that wonderful ice machine that she said she's going to leave. I was like, what is that, Elise? She said, an ice machine. I was like, who brings an ice machine to work? But it worked. So thank you so much for your service here. We know you're going to go on and do great things as you've done before when you came to us, and we know you'll continue to do that after. And let us know when the wedding is so I can come up and DJ that too.
On behalf of the board, I would like to present to our executive officer, Elise Matson, in recognition of your distinguished service and exceptional leadership as executive officer of the Board of Public Works. Your professionalism, dedication, steadfast commitment to public service have greatly strengthened the board, supported the mission of the Department of Public Works, and positively impacted the people of the city of Los Angeles. As you begin an exciting new chapter at the Los Angeles Zoo, we extend our deepest gratitude and appreciation for your many contributions and wish you continued success in all of your future endeavors.
Wow, thank you guys so much. Hearing all of those words, I was nervous to come up here today. I don't like to make big speeches, but it was really meaningful hearing from each one of you how our work together has impacted you all and impacted the city and public works, and has kind of helped me reflect on that as well. So thank you guys all so much. It's been a short time. I did not anticipate that it would be this short of a time with you all. So today is really bittersweet for me. I started in the city as an intern, working on the budget for the Board of Public Works, and I always thought that executive officer would be my dream end all be all job in the city. So when I took that job, I felt like I was really bookending something that meant a lot to me. So starting this new journey at the zoo, I'm really excited, and please come visit us anytime. We'll be happy to host the Board of Public Works anytime you all need to. But yeah, it's unexpected and bittersweet, and just really has been inspirational for me to work with each one of you who are so dedicated to the mission of the board and the mission of getting things done for the Department of Public Works. I think it's very meaningful, all of the work that you all do every day to help advance the work of the bureaus. And so I'm looking forward to watching from just over the hill in Griffith Park to see all of those streets get paved and things to continue to roll on forward. And I hope that none of you will be strangers, because I feel that not only have we worked greatly together as colleagues, but I've made 5 really good friends. So thank you all so much, and looking forward to the next chapter.
All right. Thank you very much. Congratulations. So Elise, if you want to join us here at the back with the flag, we'll take a group photo. We'll take a brief recess, and then we'll return for our second presentation. Time now is 10:11 a.m. right, thank you very much. If you would do the honors of reestablishing quorum.
We are returned at 10:12 a.m. with President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell. And we have quorum.
Good morning, everybody, once again, and welcome back. Our second special presentation, as I mentioned earlier, the month of May is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And as we conclude this month, we really want to uplift the work of our amazing public servants of AANHPI Heritage that has been doing, uplifting the values of the city of Los Angeles. So before we bring up our honorees, I have a very brief presentation this morning. And this morning, I wanted to really uplift some of the key public works projects that's happening in many of our ethnic Asian American communities. So with that, let's go to our first slide, or second slide, please. So this project I did want to mention is the 1871 Memorial. So this is in the Chinatown area. It's in front of the Chinese American Museum. The memorial is to the victims of 1871 Chinese massacre, commemorates a tragic episode in Los Angeles history, and leaves viewers with a powerful and a hopeful message. The design includes a grove of banyan tree trunks made of stone-like material. There are 18 of these sculptures, one for each victim of the massacre. And the construction is expected to begin later this year and conclude in 2027. Our next project is near Little Tokyo. Many of you are familiar with this. It's right below the 6th Street Bridge. It is the 6th Street Viaduct Park. The park is a BOE, Bureau of Engineering project, $60 million investment in LA's infrastructure and open space. Once completed, the space will include a dog park, cafe, picnic areas, play areas for children, skate park, performance art plazas, and more. So, and we're very excited that this park will be completed later this year. And then going on to our final project in Koreatown, on Olympic Boulevard is the Olympic Gateway. It will stand at the intersection of Olympic and Normandy, marking the symbolic entrance of the LA's historic Koreatown neighborhood. This project has been a long time vision for the community, but I'm happy to report that the two-phase construction will begin later this year. And this gateway will commemorate both the Korean American identity and the longstanding friendship between the city of Los Angeles and the Republic of Korea, a relationship marked by the Korean Friendship Bell in San Pedro. As you can see from that imagery, the LED lighting is able to change into any shapes, colors, or imagery. So while it displays the South Korean flag, it can show any image throughout the day. And the project is expected to be finished next calendar year. So with that, I would like to recognize many of our honorees. So first, I want to ask our leadership from the Bureau of Contract Administration to come up to the podium to get things started.
Good morning, Mr. President, Commissioners. Raul Mendoza, Assistant Director at the Bureau of Contract Administration. I'm very happy to be here today for our Asian American honoree today. If I could take a liberty, I just want to also congratulate Elise on her departure. Well, not on the departure, but on the new opportunity. I know there were comments made about budget. I just want to highlight too, you know, Elise, last year was a tough budget. And she was really working tirelessly to make sure that all the staff at the board had homes. And I saw firsthand her really making every effort with the different, just doing everything she could to make sure that happened. So congratulations, Elise. But very happy to be here for our honoree, Delana No. She's actually not here today. She couldn't, she's got family commitment that she wasn't able to make it today, but I'm still very happy to be able to present and speak about her. She joined our team in summer of 2023 as an emergency appointment management analyst. And since then, she's played a lot of key roles for our certification team, whether it was helping with Mayor Bass's or doing our departmental role on Mayor Bass's Executive Directive 4. She's done a lot of research and problem solving for us, especially as we try to do more business outreach. She has developed statistics for our ramp efforts. She has helped train new staff, coming up with a training for them, FAQs. We do a lot of things in trying to outreach to businesses and provide opportunities through LA 28 upcoming opportunities. And she's done a lot of research and work for us on those special projects. She's really been a great asset to our outreach as well. I think when you meet Delana, some people are happy to talk to you and very outspoken. She's not the person that will start a conversation with anybody. But when it comes to the outreach and work at the tables and things like that, she really shines. And you could tell that when she starts talking about this, she really wants to help the people that are there. So she has volunteered to serve as our budget liaison during this past budget year. So she's really somebody that has stepped up in many different roles, and we're very appreciative for everything she does. The last thing I'll say is, as a manager, and maybe this is a personal problem, you always want, when you need information, you want it quick. I know sometimes it's coming a request from the board, and we want to make sure we get it to you quick. So while I always give as much grace to staff and time as they need, Delana always delivers very quickly, and she doesn't rush. She does it, very precisely and accurately. Always a great final product. So thank you, Delana. And she couldn't be here today, but she just did want to extend a thank you to the board for the honor and your efforts in recognizing and celebrating the AA and HPI community.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to our honoree.
And also just to recognize her division manager, Linda McGlinchey, is here on her behalf as well.
Thank you. Please don't leave. We'll take a group photo after. Next, I want to recognize our leadership from the Bureau of Engineering to recognize our second honoree.
Hi, good morning, Mr. President, Commissioners. My name is Katie Daugherty. I'm Deputy City Engineer over the Bureau's Mobility Program. I'm honored to be here today to celebrate AAPI Heritage Month by recognizing one of engineering's finest, Yubin Kim. Yubin provides exemplary service in the city's sidewalk repair program and has represented the city admirably in the greater community. She has worked on every facet of the sidewalk compliance division and exceeds expectations in all tasks that she's involved in. Her capability to manage the sidewalks, in her capacity, she manages the sidewalk program's public interfaces, including the Access and Construction Database Viewer, and oversees access requests, web application, and project database. She recently worked diligently to successfully resolve comments from the Willits Class Council related to the program's Access and Construction Database. Yubin has taken on management of a highly technical and high-profile task to perform public right-of-way assessment on approximately a third of the city's infrastructure, including the LA 28 game venues. She manages 2 consultant teams and has developed strong professional relationships to effectively oversee their work and ensure the project's successful delivery. Additionally, she manages construction projects, including a highly challenging construction project that impacted property encroachments and difficult community relations. She resolved issues effectively and kept the division's largest project, a $6.8 million design build project, moving forward. Yubin applies hard work, knowledge, compassion, and creative thinking with every task. She consistently identifies and implements process improvements in the growing sidewalk program. She's a vital member of the engineering team and embodies what a civil servant should be. On a personal note, I've known you, Ben, for years. We met at a recruitment trip to the Society of Women Engineers conference in Denver. She is so fun to work with. She's smart, she's capable, and I'm honored to be here to recognize her today.
And then Yuban, if you want to make any brief remarks, the floor is yours.
Morning, President King and commissioners and my team that's so supportive. I'm not very used to accepting awards, but I really appreciate the kind words. And I just have to say, I can only accomplish all those things because of the assignments that were entrusted to me. I've been in this division for a pretty long time now, like 8 years, and I'll have to say that every year has been new challenges. And anytime I tell my managers that I perhaps are having a hard time with something, they always support me, or they are happy to give me new challenges. So thank you so much to everybody here. Thank you.
Congratulations. Next, we have our honoree from the Sanitation Bureau. So our Assistant Director Mullen is here if you want to come up to the podium.
Good morning, Board President and Commissioners. I am Mike Mullen, Acting Assistant Director of the Technical Support Divisions in LA Sanitation. Today, it is my pleasure to recognize the exceptional contribution of Mr. Jason Kamei, an accomplished AA/NHPI employee in LA San. Jason began his career with the City of Los Angeles in 1999 as a messenger clerk with the Library Department, and is currently working as a wastewater treatment operator 2 and field trainer for the Industrial Safety and Compliance Division in LA Sanitation. His standard duties include training LA San employees about how to work safely in confined spaces and providing instruction to wastewater treatment operators at the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. Jason's exceptional service is highlighted by his volunteer role as the operational lead for the startup of the new Advanced Water Purification, or AWPF, facility at Hyperion. This facility is a full-scale proof-of-concept project designed to test advanced water treatment technologies such as membrane bioreactors, reverse osmosis, and ultraviolet advanced oxidation process. This facility is designed to provide 1.5 million gallons per day of recycled wastewater for non-potable use to LAX and Hyperion, and it's paving the way for our eventual 100% recycling in the future. In his role on this project, Jason took immense responsibility, working closely with engineers, contractors, company vendors to master all of these new water treatment processes. Additionally, he personally trained the Hyperion startup crew on AWPF operations and created all the comprehensive training materials that will be used now and in the future. His dedication and leadership has been instrumental in establishing the operational framework for this significant new infrastructure project. Now, here's the interesting part. Outside of work, Jason is a devoted family man and proud lifelong Angelino who enjoys cheering on the Lakers, Dodgers, Kings, and Rams, even the teams that come back. He loves spending time with his wife, Tawny, and their 2 children, Callie and Ryder. As a family, they are frequent visitors to Southern California's theme parks. And whether they're cruising around town in one of his classic cars, or relaxing on their boat at a local lake, or camping along the California coast, or exploring national parks in their family RV, Jason values making lasting memories with the people he loves most. Please join me in commending Mr. Jason Kamei for his continued service and recent successes as he continues to accept this award and say a few words. You have to hold it.
Good morning, board. Thank you for having us. First off, I'd like to thank God. Thank you, Lord. Mike Mullen, Division Manager Extraordinaire. I'd like to thank you for the nice intro. You and Philip Drummond have been instrumental in the success of Hyperion's Advanced Water Purification Facility project. Thank you for trusting me and giving me the tools, support, and opportunity to help lead such a tremendous undertaking. I'm honored to accept this award, but I truly accept it on behalf of the entire AWPF team. From the beginning, I told them this is a massive project. I'll be willing to lead it, but there's no way I could do it without everyone's support, and they delivered every step of the way. So I want to personally thank and recognize Mark Acuno, Trayvon Stallworth, Horace Henry, Luis Vasquez, Stephen Ortega, T. Den, Reese Orp, Angela Menendez, Walter Beck, Vince Barden, Tyler Bachman, Trevor Johnson, Reginald Taylor, Andy Shea, Jens Chi, and Salvador Polifax. This recognition belongs to all of us. And last but certainly not least, the real MVP and the most deserving of this award, my wife, Tani. We actually just celebrated our 31-year dating anniversary, by the way. So thank you for your support, for supporting me through the long hours, the late nights, the stress, and the exhaustion that often came home with me. Thank you for holding everything together and always believing in me. I would not be standing here receiving this recognition without you, so today I want to recognize you. Thank you, board.
Thank you very much. Next, I want to ask a representative from the Bureau of Street Lighting to come up.
Good morning, Public Work Board Committee. My name is Yvonne Hong, and I'm here on behalf of Bureau of Street Lighting, as well as on behalf of the honoree who could not be here today. But first, I wanted to personally recognize the incredible dedication and heart Julian brings to the Bureau of Street Lighting. Over the decade of public service, he has become the driving force behind the vital enterprise applications and websites that keeps our operation running smoothly every day. Among his major accomplishments are the development and ongoing maintenance of the BSL banner permit application, the co-location application for permits and billing and tracking, and the land use database. Recently, he also successfully implemented the private development division as my 2K system, which we use another application, which is Cartograph. So what truly set Julian apart is his commitment to the community, blending his technical expertise with empathy to ensure our digital resources are accessible, equitable, and efficient for all Angelinos. He is a tireless innovator, an incredible dependent teammate, and a true public servant who works behind the scene to make our entire city brighter and more connected. Julian, thank you for your outstanding hard work and commitment to excellence. Please join me in congratulating Julian E. Unfortunately, Julian could not be here today, but he did wanted me to share this message. President Kang, public board members, fellow honorees, and honored guests, it is a privilege to be nominated as an honoree in celebration of AAN HPI Heritage Month 2026. I would like to thank the management of the Bureau of Street Lighting for acknowledging my service and contribution. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the members of the Board of Public Works. I apologize that I'm unable to attend this special event due to a prior commitment. Thank you. And I will be sure that Julian receives this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I want to invite our Bureau of Street Services up to the podium for the honoree. I'm not sure if they're here. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Hi, excuse me. I'm accepting this award for Diana, who unfortunately couldn't be here, but I can attest that she is one of the most hardworking people I've ever had the pleasure of working alongside. She has been with the STAP group for a few years now and has been very instrumental in launching the program as it is now. And for those of you who don't know, it's the Urban Transit Amenities group. And we deal with transit shelters, installing them throughout the city. She is one of the most compassionate people I know. She went to Dartmouth as her undergrad and has a master's in landscape architecture from Harvard. And she is brilliant and truly one of the most deserving people. And I'm hoping that she's listening to this because she really does deserve this recognition. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have our honoree from the Office of Accounting. I believe I'm going to be recognizing our honoree. Or if there's another representative, feel free to come up. If not, yes, please come up together. Yes. If you want to introduce Mehdi for us.
Okay. Good morning, President, Commissioner President, and Commissioners. I'm very honored to have Maddie for the recognition and let her introduce herself. She's over the SNM. She's a division manager.
And just to add a few things, Mehdi has been working for the city for about 26 years, and she's in our Office of Accounting. So I know our accountants, folks who work in the Office of Accounting are not very much public facing, but they really help run this city and making sure that all of our staff are paid, all of our invoices are processed. And I know Mehdi, in our, as the division manager of the Sewer Construction Maintenance Division, you are doing critical work to ensure that our public projects are moving forward. So with that, congratulations. And where is Mehdi's certificate? But before, do you want to provide brief remarks?
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, President Kang. As she said, my name is Mehdi Parahele, Mamaril Parahele. I'm the Division Manager of Sewer Construction and Maintenance Division. And I've been with Public Works when I moved here. I think that was 2015, so that's now, I'm turning 11 years here in Public Works. But I started in another department for 26 years. And with this award, I'm truly honored to receive this Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Recognition Award. As a proud Filipino and Asian American serving our city, I am grateful for the opportunity to contribute to our community. This recognition is not only for me, but also for my family, my ever-supportive husband, my niece, and my two daughters who are far distance from us, miles away. And of course, to all my hardworking and dedicated coworkers and colleagues in the Office of Accounting. And I know you are all here. Some of you are here, and I'm really grateful for those who came, even if this is on their regular day off. You guys rock. And you know how we process invoices. We really do our best to comply with whatever the policies that we have in Public Works. Thank you for the support who inspired me. This is my 26 years in the city of Los Angeles. And thank you for believing in me and for giving the opportunity to serve our community with pride and dedication. Maraming salamat po. Thank you. And thank you very much, everyone.
All right, congratulations. If you want to present Mehdi with her certificate. Yes, and we'll take a photo with the two. Yes. And I know Mehdi's joined by her husband as well. So thank you so much for joining us. So before we take a group photo, I want to ask our commissioners to provide their remarks. Why don't we start with Vice President Chavez?
There we go. Well, thank you. Los Angeles is one of the most diverse cities on the planet, and the communities that we serve reflect that. So I know that the population of Asian Americans, or nearly 1 in 7 Angelenos, identifies as Asian American, Native Hawaiian, or Pacific Islander. And I think that, all of our staff, the bureaus that touch those communities directly, the streets that they walk, the sidewalks that they use on a regular basis, the infrastructure that helps support those neighborhoods and those lights. It's really important that the workforce reflects a city that they serve. And I think May being Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, it's a nationally recognized holiday. Cities all across the country, take time to pause and reflect the important contributions in the history of cultures. But I think here in Los Angeles, for me personally, it's especially meaningful because I think that for me personally, I see a lot of correlations between the Asian American community and the Latino community. We share very much similar family values. The importance of family is woven in everything we do, and there's always this tension of this balancing that we always have, which is preserving our heritage, but always still trying to strive and succeed and fit in to the culture here. And I think that's the beauty of this city, is that we celebrate diversity and that we have an ability to learn across cultures. And I think we do that best through shared experiences, through shared appreciation of culture, and then my favorite food. I know that some of my favorite foods, are the lumpia or kimbap or dumplings or poke, it's all good. And I think my daughters have especially taken an enthusiastic appreciation, and I know President King will appreciate this, of K-pop and K-beauty. And their enthusiasm has been my education, and it continues to be that. And I really enjoy that. And I enjoy celebrating these months that we do at the board, because it gives us an opportunity to learn more about our staff here, and the work that you do is just one part of who you are as a person. And you bring your families here to share and to, educate them about the work that we're all doing collectively in the city, which usually goes unnoticed. But we want to definitely share our support and appreciation and thank you, and know that we celebrate you and appreciate you 365 days a year, 12 months, every day, not just 1 month a year. But it is an opportunity for us to pause and take stock of the rich history that we celebrate. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you. History is sort of like a medical chart. You can sort of discern the health of a community. And while there's been much success in this city, it's been ill and crippled in many ways. If you look to the Chinese Exclusion Act, the massacres that President King recommended, the alien land laws, which prevented Asian immigrants from owning land in Los Angeles, and probably most tragically, the forcible removal of some 120,000 Japanese immigrants, more than three quarters of which came from Los Angeles. It's a horrific story, but each of your biographies are impressive and outstanding. And I just want to echo what Vice President Chavez said and add that your biography is now part of the biography of Public Works in the city of Los Angeles. And the biography of Public Works in the city of Los Angeles is the biography of Los Angeles. And there's a new legacy that you've created, one which, in fact, demonstrates resilience, success, and hope for everyone in all of our communities. And I want to congratulate you and thank you for your work, your service, and your legacy. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mitchell.
Thank you for your service for the city of Los Angeles. Whenever we do these things, everybody comes with a family. They come with a work family. And just by virtue of those of you who are physically here, as well as those of you who are not here, whether you're here or not, the work family's here to support you and is representative of the respect that they hold for you and your capacity as civil servants in the Department of Public Works. It is fitting each and every month and every day, for that matter, that we celebrate the diversity of the workforce of Public Works in the city of Los Angeles. And I often say every month that regardless of what we're celebrating, this is the fabric of American history. Whatever your cultural experience has been, whatever the nature of your group has been in the history of America, it's the history of America, not just a particular Heritage Month. You celebrate every day because you have to be in your skin every day. And the contributions that are made regardless, it's like a quilt. If you think about a quilt, it's got different squares. They do different functions. It might be the corner, it might be the center, it might be whatever. But each one contributes to the beauty of that finished product. And that's what we see in the diversity of the workforce of the city of Los Angeles. We commend you, we recognize it, and we all work together to produce these projects in service. And let's face it, if we don't pay our bills in accounting, we can't put together all these wonderful projects that we do. So thank you for your service, and we support you and we salute you. Bye.
Thank you very much. So thank you to my colleagues and to our Bureau family and to our executive officer and to all of our families and friends that joined us as we close out the month of May. Once again, we want to uplift our Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities throughout Los Angeles. As a proud Korean and an Asian American, and honored to serve as the first Asian American president of this board, I greatly appreciate all of your support, and to all of our civil servants who has been working day in and day out serving the people of Los Angeles and making sure that public infrastructure and the investments are made each and every day. So with that, I want to take a different set of photos today. So first, we're going to have the honorees join us. I'm going to have the honorees sit here, and we'll have the commissioners stand next to our honorees. And why don't you hold up your certificates? So even those of you who are accepting on behalf of another staff member, please come up and sit. And then after we take that photo, we'll ask the rest of the friends and family to come up, and we'll do a larger group photo, but we'll start with our honorees.
guys want to sit a little bit closer?
And then everybody stay still. Friends and family, please join us. Everybody, we'll have our executive officer join us as well.
Oh, and would you guys like to come to the front? You want to come to the front? Yeah. Just there. Grace, come in. Not a hand. Grace. Commissioner Grant, a little bit this way. One,
Mrs. Dorsky, why don't we reestablish quorum and we'll get started with general public comment.
okay, we have, President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell all present. We have quorum.
Thank you very much. We'll get started with general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. We'll start with our virtual callers.
First caller is Audit LA. You'll have 1 minute.
Good morning. Again, I have sent emails asking about whether or not Scientology had a permit for last weekend's Colombian event. It was not listed on the issued permits. It was listed on the non-issued permit. And the public needs to know whether or not this entity, Scientology, shut down a public street without a permit. If they only had the application process, that is illegal, and I am asking for you to enforce it. But had we known, say if you did give it to them, why was it not on the calendar? It would have saved a police call and the police having to be intervened. Now, the police are asking in the future if you're ever going to sadly give them another permit to do human trafficking, that you would give it to them in advance so they know the parameters and the rules beforehand, because we all know Scientology does not abide by their permits. So even LAPD wants to know what the rules are. But I am asking you to never, ever give them another permit. They don't deserve it. They were actively
Thank you, caller.
recruiting.
That's 1 minute.
Thank you.
Our next caller is Laura FM. Laura, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good morning, board. Good morning, Public Works. Good morning, President Kang. This is Laura FM. I'm here again begging you to ensure that you stop giving Scientology any permits. It's not unfair when you're clearly given evidence and voices from people who are born and raised and forced to be in a billion-year contracted organization hiding behind a religious status. Whether that you have the opportunity to do something about that is not what we're talking about. We're asking you to stop giving them permits, because you are giving them the actual source and resources to recruit more children and to separate more families and to manipulate more people in the United States and across the world, including using their R1 visa to get people in here and then keep them here and force them there and hold the passports through OSA, where you have criminals like Kirsten Peterson and Kendrick Moxon and people who associate with Karen Bass.
Our next caller is Georgina. Georgina, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you. Last Saturday at that Colombian festival that Audit LA was talking about, they held that on LRH Way. Audit was not allowed to walk down the street. They called the police on her. The police came. The police said that's a private road, that they didn't need permits, that she wasn't allowed access because it's a private street. That's our police force propagating this lie. How is it that our police force is this ill-informed, so uneducated that they even think that that's not a public street? How do you think the citizens of that neighborhood feel? That's why they think it's a private street. Why do we have a street named after a cult leader in the first place? It needs to get changed. That street needs to get changed back to North Burindo and opened up for parking and made accessible to the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Our next caller is Nora. Nora, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment. You can unmute yourself. Nora, you can unmute yourself. Okay, Nora, I'm going to come back to you. Our next caller is Gigi. Gigi, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment.
Sorry, the Zoom was stuck,
okay.
but
Nora,
I'll
go
let
ahead.
Gigi
You'll
go.
have 1 minute. You could go ahead, Nora.
Okay. Thank you. As far as I know, in the state of California and all across this country, pedophilia is illegal. And yet, the first book of Scientology, Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, which was released in this month of May 9th, 1950, says the following. The first axiom of interest for the auditor in his work, I'm going to skip some. The 7-year-old girl who shudders because a man kisses her is not computing. She is reacting to an engram since at 7, she should see nothing wrong in a kiss, not even a passionate one. There must have been an earlier experience, possibly prenatal, which made men or kissing very bad. This is the foundation of all of Scientology. Every single thing that is written, spoken, or delivered to every member is based on this
That's
book.
1 minute. Thank you, caller. Our next caller is Gigi. You'll have 1 minute for general public comment.
Okay, so I want to touch on the fact that a lot of people think that L. Ron Hubbard Way is a private road, that it's owned by Scientology. Even LAPD officers think that it's owned by them. It is a public road, and there needs to be signage on both ends of that street that says that it's a public road. It's open to the public. There's no reason that it should be, You know, like everyone thinks that it is private. And if they thought that it was public, there would be more people that aren't Scientologists using that street. Right now, it's just Scientology using it, and the public doesn't get to use their own street. So make them aware that they're allowed to be on that street. Also, when am I going to be allowed to volunteer to do underground wiring like Scientology does? You know, like they get to do all that stuff. Let me come there and let me volunteer and do some underground wiring in the city. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you, caller. Our next caller is Miriam. Miriam, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you. I want to echo everything that everyone else has already said regarding the permits. For the love of God, get a system that actually works so we can verify whether the permits are approved or not. Secondly, regarding L. Ron Hubbard being considered by the police as a private way, that's not too far from the truth at the moment. They surveil everything over there. They can see and hear people from hundreds of yards away with their recording devices. It's like North Korea. You cannot do anything over there without Scientology supervising, seeing, hearing everything you do. And now apparently they are also claiming it's their street. Please look into the permit issue and please change the name back to North Perendo Street. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Okay, President King, that's the end of our general public comment.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll close general public comment and move on to multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wish to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 2 minutes for this regular agenda item. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you're called. Let's go to our virtual callers.
Thank you, President King. We'll go ahead and get started. Please be sure to stay on topic for the minutes and the presentation today. Thanks. First caller, Audit LA, you'll have 2 minutes.
Good morning again. I have a clarifying question, which I believe is allowed to be answered as to, I mean, first of all, congratulations to Elise Matson for getting a job at the zoo. That sounds really exciting, and I wish her the best. But who is going to be replacing her in the meantime? Is TJ now going to be the interim like he was prior to her being hired? And I wish her the best. But whoever, I mean, I would like to see TJ or Devin, they're both wonderful, step into Elise's position. And, you know, but I want to make sure that they are going to, whoever you give the job to, that they are taking the issue seriously, okay? Like oversight, like what happened, like I said, with this permit. How does it not show up on the calendar? That is something that you guys put out, right? It's your calendar. And as a public person, I should be able to know, every person in the public should be able to know what is going on, you know, with the calendar with any street closure. So I am asking that you guys will make sure that these calendars, or even if they're not the ones who are updating it, but that they are doing some kind of oversight and getting, like, you know, Miriam said, a better system to where everyone can see what is going on. The police couldn't even find it. I couldn't find it. Apparently, I guess Scientology found it. They found a copy, but we don't even know if it's legit. This has to stop. It's been 2 years. So I'm asking whoever you are going to replace, you know, Elise Matson with, and she's lovely. It's nothing against her at all. I'm just saying, moving forward, let's keep these issues in mind, because eventually I'm hoping we can get to a place where, you know, things get resolved, right? And then you can get back to, you know, meetings with, you know, without us. But right now, there's too much work to be done. Thank you.
Okay, Laura, you'll have 2 minutes for multiple item commentary, minutes, and presentation.
Thank you. So I want to talk about the last 3 years we've been asking for you guys to change the minutes. Put it on the minutes, not minutes were approved for the month. That's such bullshit. You have had people calling in on their own time. This isn't a job of me to call into the city, okay? I'm a public, I'm a civilian. There are many people calling in, and it needs to be reflected on the minutes that people have been calling in, begging you, neighborhood people that have been living in the neighborhood, begging you to stop giving Scientology any permits. Why isn't that reflected on the minutes? President Kang, we've been asking about this. Please have somebody fix this. It's a simple issue. It's a simple issue, but it's an important issue for the kids and the people that are still being enslaved in the cult of Scientology. So put it on the minutes. That's all we're asking. And with neighborhood councils, it is 100% unacceptable that you have not notified the neighborhood councils of this huge issue in East Hollywood and North Hollywood and Hollywood Boulevard of Scientology. The neighborhoods need to know. You have kids doing speed runs because they're trying to expose what the hell these Scientologists are using the city streets for and the permits. So let the neighborhood councils know that they should be sending somebody to show up in representation of their cities to the Board of Public Works, because it's not okay that you guys are not having very intimate meetings of pinpointing where Scientology has infiltrated this. This is not okay. It's completely unacceptable. You're allowing a gang, a cult gang of Scientology to infiltrate and continue to do this harassment and ownership of the area that they choose to be in. So get your neighborhood councils aware of this issue, because it is a huge issue. Email the neighborhood councils and say, hey, Hugo,
caller. That's
let
good.
them know.
Okay, Georgina, you will have up to 2 minutes, and presentation. Please stay on topic. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I'm just going to speak about the minutes.
Okay, 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, the fact that the minutes don't include the recording of any of these complaints, doesn't even record the names of the participants and a general explanation of what their complaint was, is ridiculous. You need to do better than that. It needs to be researchable. We need access to this information, not just have it said once and then ignored. There needs to be follow-up and follow-through, and that would be a large step in the right direction. Also, your YouTube channel has the title for every video going back several years. That's 3 a week, 2 a week for 6, 7 years, all with the exact same title. That needs to be addressed. That can be easily fixed and updated to at least have the date included in the title. Thank you.
Thank you. Nora, you will have up to 2 minutes for presentation and the minutes. Please stay on topic. You can unmute yourself. Nora, do you have public or multiple item commentary? If so, please unmute yourself. There you go.
Sorry. Again, my Zoom got stuck. I apologize.
No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I want to echo the statements of Audit LA in regards to the permits, in regards to the minutes from what was just said by Georgina. But really, I need someone in the LA City Council and maybe somebody in the audience who's here to congratulate all the people who, you know, are retiring, moving on, getting promoted, all of these things, which is wonderful to see people excelling in their careers. However, part of the problem is that Scientology is continuing to expand its footprint in Los Angeles, dominating things, all with no taxes going to benefit the city for all of the things that they take, because they are doing it under the cloak of religion. They are a human trafficking cult. I was human trafficked by them as a young person when I was enslaved there. There are thousands of us out here who grew up in and were enslaved by Scientology. And when I say enslaved, I mean that. You are guarded 24 hours a day. You are placed under lock and key. You cannot go to the bathroom or bathe yourself without a witness. I mean, someone watching you bathe, okay? Even in jail, there are not guards that stand in the shower room to watch people bathe. But they do that to people in Scientology. It was done to me. It's done to hundreds of others people. That quote that I read from Dianetics is a quote that L.
Caller,
Ron
you
Hubbard
are off
stands by.
topic. This is your one and final warning.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. So we need to put on the minutes all of these protests that we are saying, okay? And I agree with Georgina. Please change the titles so that when people search for things, they can find it on the internet, which is important because it's basically all the same thing, wash, rinse, repeat. And you guys work for the people of Los Angeles. I'm a native Angelino. You work for me. You work for the people, not for the AI overlords or Scientology. Thank you. I yield
caller.
my
That's time. Okay, President King, that's the end of our hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with the approval of minutes for Monday, May 18th, 2026. I'll move. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Okay, motion by President King, second by President Pro Tem Grant. We'll take the roll, starting with you, President King.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. Great, all ayes. The minutes for Monday, May 18th are approved.
Thank you very much. I believe that concludes our regular meeting. Our next regular meeting of the Board of Public Works will be on Monday, June 1st, 2026. The regular meeting is adjourned at 11:08 a.m. I know many of you are here for a special agenda related to the tree removal. Please give us about 2 to 3 minutes. We'll take a quick break and then we'll get started. So we'll start in about 11:10 a.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us. It looks like you've turned in your public comment cards if you're here in person. If you're on the Zoom platform to make public comment, there's commentary available for item number 1, which you'll have 1 minute for. So if you are joining via Zoom, please make sure to use the raise your hand function so we can get to you when we get there. Thanks so much.
Our special agenda for the Board of Public Works. Ms. Zatorsky, would you like to reestablish quorum for us?
Of course, 11:11 a.m. We're getting started. We're joined by President King, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell, and we have quorum. We have item commentary in person. You have the speaker cards and also some hands on the Zoom platform.
Thank you very much. So with that, we will take single item public comment related to item number 1 on our agenda. And everybody will have up to 60 seconds for. And we'll start with in-person speaker. Let me call up the first several speakers. First, we have Sue Cole, David Carr, and Charles Gruber. So we'll start with Sue. And please introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name, as you mentioned, is Sue.
And if you can speak a little bit directly into the mic, would be appreciated.
Okay. My name is Sue Cole. I am currently the president of the Pacific Palisades Community Council, which for over 53 years has been the official voice of the Palisades. So I'm speaking today for that voice and for my own personal voice. In addition, a lot of people, as I'm sure you're aware, would have loved to have joined us here today, but they couldn't get here because of work. This is a project that we have envisioned for several years, but never had the chance to get off the ground. We are a devastated community trying our hardest to incentivize residents to come back. The sidewalks running through our main business blocks are a mess with broken, cracked, and missing concrete due to tree root invasion. In addition to being downright ugly, it's dangerous and difficult to walk down these streets. We now have a generous donor in the Caruso Company, willing to replace broken, dangerous sidewalks with beautiful brick sidewalks, willing to replace completely inappropriate, destructive trees with beautiful trees that will not block business names and will not destroy the sidewalks. The species has been well researched by his company. And there will be more trees than there were before. 9 are being removed and being replaced by 14.
Thank you, Speaker. That's 1 minute.
What?
That's 1 minute. Sorry, it goes fast.
Okay, I can't imagine why anyone would turn this down. Please help us realize our dream.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, David Card.
Good morning. I'm David Card. I'm a landscape designer. I've lived in the Palisades most of my life, since 1957 when my parents brought us here, and I've lived in the same house there in the Palisades since '78. I'm a landscape designer, as I said. I support option 2. The all of the ficus should be removed. They are the wrong tree in the wrong place and have been since the beginning. Never should have been planted. They heave the sidewalk. They're a danger. The others are all small trees that have been recently planted that are in various stages of struggle. They're not doing well, and some of them have girding roots. Some of them have no soil around them to get the water and the nutrients that they need. Some of them have rugs going right up to the trunk. All of them are small and would be replaced by trees in a 24-inch box that would be almost the same size as what's being proposed to be removed for those 5 small trees.
Thank you, Speaker. That's
And
time.
this is for public safety, for the sidewalk, for the lighting, for a
Speaker, that is your time.
beautiful place, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, Charles Gruber. Followed by Bruce Schwartz.
Hello. So I'm actually representing Mr. Ron Sims. We own the Palisades Clock Tower building, which is at the corner of Monument and Sunset Boulevard, immediately below the Palisades Village. The sidewalk, we've recently completely painted the building. We've completely remodeled it. The only thing that really detracts from it is the condition of the sidewalks. They're colored sidewalks in 2 different colors. They're 60 years old. The colors have faded. Whenever a repair is made on the sidewalks, an attempt is made to match the color, which can't be done because of the age discrepancy. Mr. Sims strongly supports Mr. Caruso's proposal. We think it's a fantastic addition to the Palisades and to our building. We would love to see this go through.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Bruce Schwartz, followed by Miriam Czar.
Hello, my name is Bruce Schwartz. I'm a board member of Palisades Community Pride. Pride is in full support of this project that is a part of a long-term, larger joint revitalization project between Caruso and Pride and others, focusing on the beautification of public spaces in and around Pacific Palisades Business District. The project is not only a revitalization project, but the start of the commercial rebuilding efforts following the devastating January 7th, 2025 fire. I also want to point out, in one of the last fiscal years, the city has laid out $44 million in liability claims for ficus trees and broken sidewalks. In this day and age of fiscal problems, I think that you should approve this project and others like it in the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miriam Czar, followed by Greg Pollock.
Good morning. The Palisades Recovery Coalition and the Malibu Pacific Palisades Chamber of Commerce are pleased to support this project because every recovery is about more than rebuilding structures. It's about restoring community safety, economic vitality, and a sense of forward momentum. And that is entirely the case with Pacific Palisades. In the aftermath of the January 2025 fires, our residents and businesses have endured extraordinary loss. As families return home, rebuild, and businesses work to reopen, the quality and character of our public spaces matter. They send a message about who we are and where we're headed. This project represents an investment in the future of Pacific Palisades. It creates a welcoming, accessible, and attractive environment that serves residents, seniors, visitors, and small businesses alike. It reflects confidence in our recovery and helps create the conditions for people not only to rebuild here, but to return home. At a time when our community is working so hard to come back, projects like this demonstrate that recovery can be thoughtful, visible, and community-centered. This one certainly is, as evidenced by all the people who made it here on a Friday morning. We respectfully ask that you
Thank
vote
you,
in
Speaker.
favor, and I thank everyone involved for helping create a stronger, more vibrant future for
Thank you.
Pacific Palisades.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, Greg Pollock, followed by Peter Best.
I'm Greg Pollock. I'm a realtor, over 40 years, a member of the Palisades. I'm speaking only today because I personally experienced an unsafe condition of the sidewalks. Outside Citibank, I got out of my car and I fell because of the unevenness of the median. If there wasn't a paramedic there, I would have had to go to the hospital because I was bleeding profusely. It's no one should have to worry about getting injured while simply walking in the village. The project addresses real safety concerns and creates sidewalks that are safer, smoother, and more accessible for everybody permanently. As we really get into this debate on the viability, why are we worried about replacing 4 trees? We should replace all the trees as the proposal and do the sidewalks. In the past, we've never had the opportunity to do that because we'd have to personally fundraise.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have Peter Best, followed by Chris Fail.
Good morning. I'm Peter Best with my wife here. We have raised 4 children in the Palisades for the last 20 years. We walk our dog every day through the village. That was before our home was built. Was burned, excuse me, and we are actively in the process of rebuilding our home. I'm asking today, had a whole bunch of prepared things to discuss. I think Sue said it best at the outset, but I would just ask you to just reflect and let's let common sense win the day. This makes good sense to take advantage of an incredible gift opportunity that we have as a community that will do nothing but help us as a community rebuild the soul of our community. So I would, just ask you to reflect, if it was you and it was your community, what would you want? And I would think that you just want common sense to prevail. And that's what we're asking for today. Respectfully, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have Chris, followed by Jimmy Dewitt.
Hi, I've been in the Palisades for 47 years, my whole life. Lost my house during the fires. Have 2 boys I'm raising there. And we are moving back shortly, and the sidewalks are a mess. The kids can't jog down the street, skateboard. It's a safety hazard, and it's just getting worse with the root systems. We see the city trying to do things and piecemeal it together, but it doesn't work. So we need to accept this gift, move forward, and let us rebuild our town. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have Jimmy Dune, followed by Bill Armistead.
Hi, how are you? I just wanted to say I'm enthusiastically supportive of this. And if you took a roll call of all the hearts of all the Palisadians, this town is so enthusiastically supportive of this. This is a generous neighbor's love letter written in sidewalks, trees, and shade. It's public-private partnership at its absolute best. And please help make this generous, joyous gift a beautiful part of our town's healing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bill, followed by Bob Benton.
Hi, I'm Bill Armstead. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm a resident, and I want to hear in strong support of the beautification project proposed by Caruso. We lost our home in the Palisades fire, and as my family and our neighbors work to rebuild our community, I want to first off acknowledge the extraordinary generosity of Rick and his team that they've shown in the Palisades during this difficult time. Our downtown business district has a long way for recovery. This project would help attracting new tenants while providing a beautiful, welcoming environment for residents, visitors, and local businesses. A cohesive and thoughtfully designed landscape with healthy trees, improved sidewalks, and an inviting pedestrian experience will go a long way towards helping restore the vibrant, walkable community we want to see again. And realistically, if we don't allow Caruso and his team to move forward, it's likely that this will never happen. Our community needs investment, momentum, and hope. Please help us rebuild. Please help us with this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Bob Benton, followed by Ham Smith.
Hi, my name is Bob Benton. I've been in the Palisades for about 45 years. Many years ago, in 1982, I started a sporting goods store and was on Swarthmore for 35 years. In front of my store was a big, huge ficus tree. And for about 15 years, the community, we were dealing with these sidewalks where we had to paint them red so people didn't trip. In 1995, the community got together with the Pride and raised $500,000 in those days, and we ripped out all the sidewalks and all the trees. We had to because of the ficus trees. I fully support Rick's project. I think it's a great thing for the community, and it's the only way we can keep everybody safe on our sidewalks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, Mr. Smith, followed by Brian Wallen.
Hi, my name is Harris Smith, and my wife and I lost our home on January 7th in the Alphabet Streets. I support option 2 because it balances safety, accessibility, beautification, and long-term planning in a responsible way. Supporting the removal of the trees does not mean opposing nature or greenery. It means recognizing current condition of these trees and replacing them with healthier, more sustainable urban forest design for the future. Please support the removal of all 9 trees and allow this important project to move forward. We are counting on you to be our heroes today. On a personal note, my wife and I are rebuilding, and we cannot wait to go home to this beautiful community. We are planting sustainable trees on our property that not only will provide shade, but will provide benefits to the environment. Thank you. And I appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. Brian Wallen, followed by Charles Hart.
Hi, thank you very much. My name is Brian Whalen. I'm a 20-year resident of the Palisades. I'm on multiple youth boards, and come August, I'll be moving right back into the heart of the village to see our wonderful community rebuilt. I just want to make this point, is that if you drive into the Palisades today, it'll warm your heart to see all the construction going on and the homes being built. But I think just like all of your communities, that's not the Palisades. The Palisades is the people. And what we're trying to do is bring as many people back who have been displaced as possible so we can have our community back. And I will tell you personal anecdotes. Every time I talk to people who are not living in the Palisades anymore, and I tell them about the rebuild of our beautiful park and the plans there and you know, making that better than ever. I talk to them about the Caruso Village reopening this coming August. It lights them up. And they talk about, you know, that's one more reason for us to, you know what, maybe we're not going to stay where we are. We're going to come back to the Palisades. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Charles Hart, followed by Ana Rosales.
Hi, I'm Charles Hart. I go by Chuck. I'm a member of the Palisades Chamber of Commerce. I'm on board of the Methodist Church. I'm vice president of that board. I'm an Eagle Scout of Troop 223. I went to St. Matthews. I went to Loyola. My great-grandparents moved there with the church. I've been there forever. Rick's a swell guy. I see him around town all the time. He does a lot of good. And I think that this tree, I mean, getting this paid for, and he's willing to step up and deal with that. I'm not sure what the objections are other than, you know, it would be replaced like for like. I support this project 100%. If there's any hiccups or whatever, I'm also able to, and I'm on the approved list to deal with any sidewalk issues if something like that was to occur. I was voted the Pride of the Palisades. I'm super involved in the community. I support this project 100%, and I believe I'm here speaking on those parties that I listed that I'm a member of or a participant in also. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Ana Rosales, followed by Nina Maddock.
Good morning. My name is Ana Rosales. I am the branch manager of the Chase office in Pacific Palisades. I have been there for the last 4 years. As a returning business now in the village, just want to share that JP Morgan Chase is supporting of the business. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Nina. Maddock. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Nina Maddock. I am a 25-year resident of Pacific Palisades, walking distance to the village center. I am a member of the advisory board of the Palisades Recovery Coalition and the the Community Recovery Coordinated Council. There are two things that I'd like to raise with respect to supporting option 2. One is that it allows the community, specifically an organization, Palisades Pride, to continue to raise money by the Signature Brick program. It's an important program. It raises a significant amount of money for a local charity to support ourselves. And second, there is a group of us who will be advocating for the Olympic marathon or the torch to come running through the Palisades to bear witness to the fact that the city of Los Angeles is committed to its citizens and rebuilding, and we would like it to be beautiful when that happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now transition to our virtual callers.
Great. We have Christina, Elliott, Allison, Holderoff, and then Audit LA. So we'll start with Christina. You can unmute yourself and you'll have 1 minute.
Thank you so much. I'm Christina Spitz. I'm the elected at-large representative, a member of the executive committee, and a former president of Pacific Palisades Community Council, known as PPCC. As Sue mentioned, PPCC was founded 53 years ago and is known as the voice of the Palisades, the community devastated by the Palisades fire. The proposal to redesign parts of the streetscape in our commercial village along Sunset Boulevard is a welcome breath of fresh air and a healing effort in the midst of our indescribable suffering for over a year and a half. PPCC strongly supports the proposal, as do I personally and every other Palisadian I know. We urge you to approve option 2 on the agenda, allowing removal of the old, inappropriate street trees to be replaced by beautiful and more appropriate street trees in this block of Sunset Boulevard. I concur with all previous statements that were made. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Okay, Elliott, you can unmute yourself. You'll have 1 minute.
Hi, I'm Elliot Zarensky, board member of the Business Improvement District for Pacific Palisades, comprised of all commercial property owners in the village, along with tenant reps and other civic organizations. We support the removal of the trees and the improvements proposed. We think it is greatly going to enhance our property, and it will also enhance city property, since some of these trees are in front of the city parking lot, and you have a terrible problem with the pavement being raised and liability, and that still runs with the city despite previous attempts to eliminate that liability. We ask you to support it, and I am also an adjacent property owner in support of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Allison Holderoff, you'll have 1 minute. You can unmute yourself. Allison, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Thank you.
Am I unmute now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Allison Holdorf Paul Hill. I've been a member of this community for 30 years, lived in the Alphabets. House was leveled. Sidewalks have been a problem, ficus trees in particular. I wholeheartedly support option 2. We need this. We will be moving back in July. We need sidewalks to navigate. And unfortunately, my son just had a surgery where he'll be in a wheelchair for a while. So this is personal to me. But we also need to bring back our vibrant commercial corridors. And we are fortunate enough to have the generosity of the Palisades Village and Mr. Caruso to do so. So please support this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Okay, and our last hand raised is Audit LA. Audit, you'll have 1 minute for this item.
Thank you. I stand behind the Palisades residents rebuilding their community. My only request is with the trees, and I support whatever they need or want to rebuild their lives, they should get. But when you are doing this, taking down trees or putting up trees, please be careful of the wildlife or any kind of, because I'm still traumatized by public works. Like you guys came to the Scientology and you plugged a tree that had a living beehive in it. And I am still sad by that. It's been 2 years and I'm still feeling bad for those poor bees. So I am asking you that you would please be mindful that give Palisades what they need to rebuild, but be mindful that there are living creatures, even bees, and we need the bees, right? We need them as well, that we are respectful of all life and to do it in a way that brings dignity to that. But go, Palisades, rebuild. The city's behind all of you. I yield my time.
Thank you, Speaker. Okay, President King, that's the end of commentary.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll close the single item public comment, and I want to recognize a representative from Council District 11 to provide their feedback and remarks. Sean Silva.
Good morning, Board President Kang and Honorable Commissioners. My name is Sean Silva, speaking on behalf of the Office of Councilwoman Tracy Park. I want to thank you for the opportunity to address you today. And I'd also like to thank you for hearing from all of our community members. As you can see, they are all here in support of this. Our office remains acutely aware of the impact of the Palisades fire on our community. We know that more than a year on, the events of January 2025 cast a long shadow. As we continue to support our community on the road to recovery, we posit with this project there lies an opportunity to begin the revival and recovery of the Palisades at the very heart of the community. Carrying forward the character of a main street in the town's center through the streetscape improvements proposed here is a visible expression of this unifying rebuilding effort, and we stand with our residents in support of this effort. I want to thank you for your consideration of our comments.
Thank you very much. Next, I want to call up our representative from the Urban Forestry Division to present, and then we'll have a representative from Caruso.
Yes, good morning, President Kong, Commissioners. My name is Hector Banuelos. I'm a superintendent with the Bureau of Street Services Urban Forestry Division. Almost feel like David and Goliath here, but the Bureau of Street Services has provided two options for the board to consider. One of the options is the one that is supported by our division and our bureau, is for the board to approve the request for, not approve the request for 9 trees, but rather for approval of the 5 trees to be removed and 4 to be retained, deny the request for 4 trees. It is, and that option number 2 is for the board to approve the removal of all 9 trees. I personally have reviewed some of the preliminary drawings that are provided to Streets LA, and in reviewing the plans, it is the opinion of the division that 4 of the 9 trees can sustain in the impact by the project and do not require removal as far as we can see, right? The sidewalk displacement around adjacent a couple of the trees is very minimum. The Indian laurel fig tree is probably one of the most resilient trees that the city has, and although it's been villainized by sidewalk disrepair to some locations, and I know that there are some areas where sidewalk displacement is very severe. However, in the Palisades, from what I've seen, the displacement is not as severe, and adjacent to one of the trees that were recommended for removal, it is very minimally displaced, and it is our opinion that the tree can be retained in place or can survive the impact and retained in place of that one tree there. That one tree is located on the south side of Sunset Boulevard. There are 3 trees growing on the north side of Sunset Boulevard adjacent to the Caruso properties, and of which one of the Indian laurel fig tree or ficus trees they've been severely pruned over the last, perhaps maybe the last couple years or so. Someone severely pruned it, and the structural integrity of the branches of this ficus tree is severely altered. And the sidewalk is displaced at this location as well. And in addition to, there's also a Chinese flame tree that was planted perhaps a couple years ago. And that tree it's not going to be impacted by the sidewalk repairs from what we can see. However, the tree, it just needs a little bit of pruning, and we feel that that tree can remain in place. It's very nice looking tree so far. It's a young tree, obviously. There's another one tree on the north side of Sunset Boulevard as well. That is a carrot wood. That carrot wood was severely damaged. It appears by a traffic accident, perhaps a car. It has a severe wound on the south side of that, or the east side of that trunk of the tree. And it is our opinion that the project, I mean, it's okay if the tree gets removed, and we'll take the opportunity to replace that tree. And we're okay with removal of that tree, or recommendations that are actually recommended the tree be removed. So on the south side of the street, coming at 15200 Sunset Boulevard towards the east end and moving our way towards the west, there are two trees located there. There is one Chinese flame tree and one African fern pine. Those trees are fairly to good shape. There's just a little bit of pruning probably required, and those trees should be retained in place. There is another Indian laurel, or a couple of ficus trees, actually 3 more ficus trees on the south side. One of the ficus trees is adjacent to a street light, and is affecting the illumination. And the sidewalk is also moderately displaced there, but the tree's structure, branching structure, is poor. And it is our opinion that the tree should probably be removed because it's going to continue to obstruct the street illumination there of the adjacent street light. There's an adjacent ficus tree also that is fairly close to that location. That tree is probably the best looking ficus trees in that area. And that tree, the sidewalk there is very minimally displaced. And it is our opinion that the tree will be minimally impacted by any sidewalk repairs and should remain in place. And we have we have another Indian laurel fig tree, a ficus tree, towards the west end on the south side of the street that is severely impacted by high-profile vehicles. There's a lot of damage to the structural, to the scaffolding limbs, and it is our opinion that the tree should be removed. It's going to continue to be hit by high-profile vehicles. In addition to the sidewalk is displaced at that area, although it could survive the impact of the sidewalk repair, it is obstructing the right-of-way for those high-profile vehicles that frequent the area. It's a commercial area. So, and then we have one small golden rain tree adjacent to the Wells Fargo Bank there on the south side. That particular tree is a very small tree. It's planted about 4 years ago, and it has girdled roots. And if you look on the Google images there on the map, it hasn't done much since it was planted. So the tree is stunted in growth. It's girdled roots. It's kind of indicative that the tree was root bound when it was planted. And we feel that is good opportunity there for to have the tree removed and replaced. Whereas our opinion that the division can work with the Caruso project and seeing that some of the trees remain and to still provide a positive outcome to the project. Regardless of what option is exercised, there's not going to be enough room to replant 2 to 1 on the project. However, the Bureau would work with the Caruso project team, ensuring that all feasible planting sites are planted, and what does not meet the 2 to 1, the applicant will be required to plant the tree planting guarantee fee in order to meet the 2 to 1 tree placements. The applicant will water the tree from all replacement trees for a minimum 3-year period as required as well. That concludes my presentation. I'm here to address any questions the board may have.
Thank you very much. Before we get to questions, I want to invite a representative from Caruso for their presentation.
Good morning, Honorable Commissioners. I will speak first, and then I'll ask my colleague to come up and speak to the project details. My name is Corinne Verdery, and I'm the CEO of Caruso. And I want to thank you for letting us all be here today to speak to you directly. Since our opening of the property in 2018, we have been truly honored by how the community has embraced Palisades Village. It quickly became the neighborhood place to grab a coffee, visit with friends, and create lasting memories with your family. Today, we are rebuilding alongside the rest of our community with the shared goal of helping Pacific Palisades come back stronger than ever. We currently have hundreds of construction workers on the site each day. They are rebuilding stores and restaurants that were damaged by the fire, smoke, and water. Palisades Village will reopen this August, and we stand ready and mobilized to execute on this project to rebuild our town center, Main Street, pending your consideration and approval today. This streetscape proposal is not new. It was originally developed years ago by Pali Pride Community, you heard from them today, and it was also the plan that the Pacific Palisades Community Council envisioned when they supported our Palisades Village development. In recognition of that long-standing community support, our company has chosen to step forward and voluntarily build and fund this project and also maintain it in perpetuity. This is a project we deeply believe in. A thoughtfully designed Main Street and welcoming entrance to the Palisades will not only support local businesses, but also serve as a powerful symbol of renewal and optimism to residents. We respectfully ask for your support today so that together we can help restore the heart of this community and build a future that reflects its strength, character, and resilience. Thank you for your time and consideration, and now I'm going to turn it over to Katie Mangin, my colleague. She's Vice President of Development, and she will present the project in more detail. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Corrine. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Katie Mangin, and I'm going to walk you through the specifics of our project. Maybe? Let's see. Is it? Okay, now I'm going to walk you through the specifics of the project.
Sandy, we can help you. Have someone click through.
Okay. Will you click for me? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Click it. Okay, great. Thank you. We are very proud to steward this project on behalf of the community. As you've heard today, this was envisioned by the community and is supported by the Palisades Community Council, the Palisades Recovery Coalition, the Business Improvement District, the Palavu Chamber of Commerce, many others who are here today, and those who could not join us. As Corrine mentioned and you've seen, there's long been strong support for these coordinated streetscape elements. As the community rebuilds and returns after the wildfires, our project funds, constructs, and maintains the improvements in this typical palette that you see here at no cost to the city in perpetuity. The proposed project is composed of this typical street tree, the Chinese flame tree, this custom pedestrian scale light pole with flower baskets, and this brick paver. There's also additional landscape elements that would be included. Together, these create a renewed sense of vibrancy, safety, and visual continuity to an area of the Palisades severely impacted by the wildfires. This is the scope of our project. The yellow bubbles you see on your screens, you know what, sorry. Sorry, the hard copies may be easier to read. The yellow bubbles on screen are existing Chinese flame trees on Sunset. The green bubbles are where the new tree, the 13 new trees would be planted to replace the 9 trees that Option 2 removes. The orange are the locations of the pedestrian scale light poles, and the red bubbles are the trees that Urban Forestry is recommending be retained. These are the 4 trees that Urban Forestry is recommending be retained. These 4 trees need to be replaced to allow for the sidewalk improvements. As part of our detailed application package that is currently Under plan check, our arborist identified existing structural and health concerns with each one of these trees and notes that the trees face long-term diminished viability independent of these proposed improvements. She could not be here today as she is at the moment presenting as an international instructor of tree risk at the California Association of Parks and Recreation in Monterey, where she is speaking on tree defects and reducing the likelihood of failure. And it is her view that none of these trees have long-term viability. The reality is those trees, it's just a matter of time before they would cause the same damage to the sidewalks. What we see now is the existing condition of the sidewalks. These are the conditions across the entire area of the project, not just the 4 trees urban forestry does not recommend replacing. As you can see, these current conditions are extremely inconsistent and difficult for pedestrians, seniors, families, and people with disabilities to navigate. This is one comprehensive project carefully designed to enhance the connectivity, pedestrian experience, and most importantly, the safety of this area of the Palisades. Many property owners, as you've heard from today, have had to replace sidewalks numerous times on their own to create safe, pedestrian-friendly conditions. And with your support, we have the opportunity to replace those damaged sidewalks and properly select and site 13 replacement trees to achieve a healthier, long-term streetscape. The community envisioned this plan long before the fires, and now we have the chance to bring it to fruition. So taking a look at how the streetscape will transform, we start at our property on Sunset, and we're walking towards Monument Street. So here you see the existing improvements that are proposed for the new areas as they exist today. As we move down Sunset, you can see the, actually at the bottom of the page, you see the brick pavers that were mentioned that Pali Pride uses it to fundraise and personalize for members of the community. And we see where those end and where the patchwork of concrete begins. So this is today, and this is when the project is complete. And then you can see them side by side. Continuing down Sunset, this is the ficus tree that has been hacked, and then this is actually, as was mentioned, like by Dave Card, like a rug of AstroTurf, and this is the complete condition, and side by side. Again, here we have patchwork of sidewalk. I believe this is where Greg was describing that he fell in this area where there's loose gravel and dirt in a tree well where the tree actually died and hasn't been replaced. The tree well remains empty. That's the future. Sign. Here we have one of the ficus trees where the roots are pushing the sidewalk both up and pushing the curb out, creating dangerous walking conditions. And here's the future. And again, side by side. Again, another angle on Sunset. Here we have where the Village Green fronts Sunset Boulevard. The Village Green is a beautiful community park actually owned and maintained by members of the community. And this transition would allow a more complete and connected edge to Sunset. You see the after. So with all of these improvements complete, we have what is a beautiful new gateway to welcome Palisadians home. This community has been through something profoundly extraordinary and is now steadfastly focused on rebuilding and returning home. We have the opportunity today to create something beautiful to come home to, something more, something better, something more inviting, more beautiful than it was, at no cost to the city, at no cost to the taxpayer, in perpetuity. I would like to acknowledge, as some have before me, the challenge for this community to join us here today. Not only is it 10 a.m. on a Friday, 11 a.m. on a Friday, in the midst of school graduation season and the workday, but so many members of this community are currently living across Southern California and abroad, displaced from their homes as they rebuild. We have worked closely with the community and the council office to bring this long-desired vision to life and respectfully request your support of option 2 in welcoming Palisadians home. We extend our thanks again to Palisades Pride, the Palisades Community Council, the Palisades Recovery Coalition, the Pacific Palisades Business Improvement District, the Palabu Chamber of Commerce, all of the members of the community here today and on Zoom, and again, ask for your support of option 2. I'm available along with my colleague, Chris Robertson, on Zoom to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before we get to commissioner questions, I do want to bring up our UFD representative one last time, if you wanted to add anything before we take questions after seeing the presentation.
Saw some of the photos there. They showed some of the displacement, as I mentioned earlier, on the sidewalks adjacent to some of the ficus trees there. What I didn't really see is the ficus tree that we're asking to be retained, the condition of the sidewalks. Not that severely displaced. And it's a very nice looking tree. It'd be a shame to kind of lose it to this project. So our recommendation was, of course, to preserve that tree. And in addition to the two Chinese flame trees as well, they're pretty good looking young trees. Right? And they're worthy of preservation. However, I understand that Caruso is trying to beautify the area. We understand that, and we'll work with the team, with the Caruso team. However the board decides.
Thank you very much. With that, I'm going to be opening up the floor to commissioner questions. President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you all for your articulation of this, both this proposal as well as the issues facing the Palisades. Hector, I have a question for you. The proposal, as is presented, provides for a beautification of the Palisades. What is the theory or ordinance that guides the department from saying that why we should not cut down all the trees proposed by anyone? I mean, not just this project, but how do you discern between proposals to cut X amount of trees and decide, no, we're not going to cut down X, we're only going to cut down Y? What are the guiding principles that you use or lens to figure this out?
Trees provide a wealth of benefits to the community and to our environment, right? Including shade, wildlife habitat, carbon sequestration. And our job is to preserve the trees to the extent possible. Mature, healthy, mature trees. That Indian laurel fig tree is a very healthy, mature trees. The Chinese flames are relatively young, and so is the African fern pine that we're recommending to retain. But our guiding principle is to retain, preserve all mature, healthy trees to the extent possible. That's our guiding. That's our kind of our guiding light.
So on a related note, I know a couple weeks ago we considered tree removal at UFD's recommendation because it was buckling. I believe it was in the Marina area, and I believe it was in the not in the same community, but a different neighborhood within the same council district, where I believe some neighbors wanted to preserve some of the trees because they were healthy, but because the tree roots were damaging the streets, and it also generated quite a bit of media attention. So I'm trying to understand that I do understand that there are times when for public safety and other reasons that trees are removed to make these enhancements on the streets. So if you could kind of elaborate a little further on Commissioner Grant's question, and I know a lot of it is case by case, but wanted to kind of understand your thought process.
Yes, it is case by case. Some of the trees, when we have to make a recommendation for removal, is because the trees, the impact from whatever's proposed at construction. This, for instance, the sidewalk repairs. When we determine that the species cannot tolerate the root disturbance or the root cutting that's going to be needed to affect that sidewalk repair, then it's going to be our recommendations to need to remove that tree. Otherwise, the tree may be rendered unstable, or it may affect the structural integrity and health of that tree. The Indian laurel fig trees, the ficus trees, are one of the most, if not the most resilient trees that I know of. that can tolerate a significant amount of root pruning and still remain in place. So that's one of several species that can tolerate the root pruning. I hope I addressed your questions correctly.
Thank you very much. Any other questions for UFD before we bring up Caruso Representative Commissioner Mitchell?
Thank you both for your presentations. Mr. Van Wellers, UFD has recommended removal of 5 trees, which include 3 ficus, correct?
That's correct.
And at least 1 or 2, well, 1 specifically had truck damage to the bough of the tree because the location of the limbs, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And then what was the condition of the other 2 ficus specifically?
Yes, one, as you mentioned, has been severely hit, severely damaged by high-profile vehicles. That's where recommended for removal. We have another tree on that same side of the street, the south side of the street, has a wide-spreading crown. It looks like it's suffered some damage years ago, and the crown is it's off balance. The crown being the branching structure. It's adjacent to a street light, and there's also sidewalk displacement there. Can the tree tolerate the root pruning that's needed? Yes, I think it can. However, it's right next to that street light, and it's going to continually be trimmed for street light illumination. In addition to the crown being rather awkward, off balance, it's not really, it's not a desirable tree. So we're going to take this opportunity to remove it. And there's a tree on the north side, another Indian laurel fig tree. That one, I believe it's located directly in front of a doorway. In addition to the sidewalk, it's displaced there, and the crown was severely affected by some severe pruning that was done a while back. And so its branching structure was severely altered. And so we're recommending the removal of that tree as well.
And what's the condition of the other 2 trees that you recommend removal?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember the specifics of the condition of the other 2? One would be the golden rain and the carrotwood trees.
Yes. The golden rain is root bound. It's not going to grow much more than what it is now. It's not very large. It's a very small tree. The structure of the roots is compromised because it's root bound. It's just a poor quality tree that was planted. So they would recommend a removal of that tree.
Okay.
There's a carrotwood on the north side, that 5th tree, and that tree there was severely damaged by, we suspect it was a vehicle several years ago. So it has a large wound on the southeast side of the tree, and it hasn't grown much over the past several years as well. And so, and those trees do not tolerate very much root disturbance very well as well. So there is some sidewalk displacement next to that tree, and so our recommendation would be to remove that carrotwood tree as well.
And are those, and location-wise, excuse me, location-wise, the project's on the north side?
The Caruso property, as far as I know, is on the north side.
Okay, and so there are 2 trees on the north side and 3 on the south side? Where
There are 3 trees on the north side and
Okay.
5 trees on the south side. Excuse me, 3 trees on the north side, 6 trees on the south side.
Okay, here's my question. As to the location, the project's on the north side, correct? North of Sunset, on the north side of Sunset,
The
right?
project's on both sides, but as far as
Okay.
I know, Caruso owns the properties on the north side.
All right, my question is, the number of removals, tree removals on the north side is how many? 2?
2.
And then 3 on the south side?
That's correct.
And the condition of the 4 that you recommend keeping? The first, there's a ficus on that you're recommending keeping, correct?
1 tree on the south side, 1 ficus tree on the south side.
Okay.
Correct.
And that tree condition is fine?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What's the condition of the tree?
Oh, it's a very good condition. That tree is in very good condition. It's very good looking, a very healthy tree, worthy of preservation.
And then the China's flame, is there one on each side of the street or
Yes.
both on one side of the street?
There's 1 on each side of the street.
Okay. And what's the condition of those 2?
Those trees, in my opinion, they're good condition.
Okay, and is it the African fern pine? You mentioned something about some tree being relatively new, let's just say, in the last 5, 10 years it was planted.
The golden rain was a relatively new. Well, all of the trees are. The 2 Chinese flames have been planted probably within the last 2 to 5 years. They're in good condition. There's one Chinese flame that was, golden rain tree that was planted, I believe, 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. That one there is stunted growth. That's on the south side, and that tree is not a good quality tree.
Okay, so it's the golden rain, even though it's a newer tree, it's not in the best condition. Is that the root-bound one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the African fern pine is planted perhaps a few years ago as well, 3 or 4 years ago, and that tree is good shape as well. It just requires a little bit of structural pruning. That tree could remain.
Okay. So your recommendation is to remove 5 trees and keep 4 of the 9 trees that are proposed for all total removal?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Vice President Chavez.
Question, so when the field inspection occurred, did the inspector have full access to the B permit construction plans?
He had the preliminary drawings, yes.
Did that include like all of the utility construction, trench locations, the depths? I'm just looking at the plans here, it calls for sidewalk reconstruction, curb and gutter replacement, curb returns, utility trenching, grading, bus pad work, all along the full frontage of the project. So I'm just wondering if the inspector had access to all of that data, all that information, because if I understand your position correctly, you're saying root pruning within 4 inches of the new sidewalk edge, when done correctly, doesn't pose a risk to the tree and the future livelihood of the tree. Is that correct?
Well, they had a site plan. From my understanding, they just had the site plan. They don't have any utility drawings or anything like that. But the our assessment is that the work that is proposed, that we know of, sidewalk repair, is going to be minimally impact 4 of those 9 trees. So we're of the opinion that the trees could be retained in place for that work.
So let me ask you this. So if a tree retained under the division's option 1, if that tree fails within the first 5 years due to construction-related root damage, who bears the responsibility of the emergency removal, of the replacement, or any associated property damage? Is that the city or is that the applicant?
It would have to be the applicant.
Of a tree that was
Yeah.
left?
Yeah,
that was
the
retained?
trees are pretty small. It's very highly unlikely. I say highly unlikely because until they start doing the work, we're not really going to know really what's needed. But from what we've seen, it just appears that just some sidewalk repair work is going to be performed around those trees. Maybe perhaps some low voltage lighting that we've seen that's kind of prevalent on the Caruso properties may be installed along there. But the Caruso will have to work with our team to assess any impact to those trees prior to them installing the utilities.
And under option 2, who has responsibility for anything that happens to those replacement trees?
The applicant.
The applicant. So you're saying under both scenarios that the applicant has responsibility no matter what occurs to the existing trees?
Yes. Providing the work's done accordingly to our permit requirements, there shouldn't be any problem with the trees.
Does the city attorney have any opinions on that? Because I feel like that's contrary to my understanding of responsibility. Who bears responsibility when there is a failure of a tree once the applicant has been discharged of its obligations?
I would defer to UFD. I think that's part of the permit is replacement trees for a certain number of years.
No, not the replacement trees, the trees that were retained.
I want to get back to you on that.
Okay, that's a critical question. And then my next question is, does UFD have any objection to the species selection, the tree well design, or the maintenance commitments in the applicant's replacement plan?
Well, we haven't seen the final plans yet, but we don't. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question again one more time, please?
Do you have any objection to anything that's in the replacement plan, whether it's a species selection or the tree well design? Do you have any objections to what's presented?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. And then in terms of the replacement plan, in your opinion, does that produce a gain in the tree canopy, or is there a reduction under the option 2? Like if there's 13 new trees that are replacing the 9, does that result in a gain in canopy or a reduction? Because I see that the applicant poses that it would be a gain, so I'm just curious if you agree with that or not.
When the trees mature, provided they mature, it'll probably be a little better. However, they're not going to come close to what that ficus tree is producing. That ficus tree is producing a significant amount of shade. And like I said, they have a leaf to surface air ratio incomparable to what's being planted there. So they sequester carbon, unlike any other tree. They provide a wealth of habitat. The birds like it. So it's really a tough species to beat when it comes down to environmental benefits.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So I want to invite Caruso representatives for some questions as well.
Could I respond to a few?
Sure.
Before? Okay, great. So I just want to make clear for us, this is one project. It's option 2. To your point, Commissioner Chavez, it's not take on some of the responsibility for work that our expert tells us is going to fail. And that's not an option, right? Like our option is replace everything at once. There's a significant amount of grading that needs to be done to fix all of the sidewalks. I don't know the exact answer to your question. I don't believe that the inspector had our full coordinated utility application at the time of the field inspection. The field inspection was many months ago. We weren't that far down the road in the permit process at that time with BSL. It will be impossible to keep the 4 trees, as you saw in my diagram. Those 4 trees are right at the core of this scope. We won't be able to repair the sidewalks and replace all of the trees that Urban Forestry agrees should be replaced now and leave those trees in place. You heard today from business owners who have, over the last 30 years, replaced the sidewalks on their own in a piecemeal way, raised money to remove the ficus trees that you heard from Dave Carr from the Palisades Forestry Committee. Those ficus trees have always been the wrong tree in the wrong place. And we have this chance now to cite a more appropriate species, which Urban Forestry agrees it is an appropriate species, for the Palisades, so that 30 years from now, we don't have these trees still there failing, being removed, and we have no new tree canopy that's been growing over the last 30 years. I can get into specifics on the conditions of the 4 trees that should go from our arborist, but I can respond to any of your questions first.
Sure, thank you. Similar question is, there seems to be a discrepancy between Urban Forestry's sort of assessment and your arborist. So if you don't mind kind of quickly walking us through the different assessments that are coming from the 2 different reports.
Yeah, I'm going to just stick with the details of our arborist is a certified arborist. She's an expert in reducing tree failure. I think it bears mentioning again, the only reason she's not here today is because she's lecturing at the State Parks and Rec Department on this very topic. So I'm going to use her words. I may not get it exactly right, so bear with me a little bit. So the first tree that staff is recommending be retained, the Chinese flame #1, her position is this tree has a sparse canopy density for a tree of this species and apparent age, which is consistent with long-term pruning stress and decline. The long-term risk is elevated due to the combined effects of restricted root zone, chronic over-pruning, and the tree demonstrates poor structural form. There's clear evidence of sidewalk and paver displacement pushing the sidewalk where the roots are pushing the sidewalk up. The tree is planted in a severely constrained parkway strip, providing inefficient soil volume for the long-term structural stability of a mature tree. The pavers installed, there are pavers in this location installed within the structural root plate, which is contributing to the restriction. The second tree that staff recommends retaining, the African fern pine. On this tree, her notes are that the trunk is buried and constricted at grade. It has a minimal trunk taper. Its distributed soil conditions limit its root function. The tree remains staked despite its maturing age, limiting its trunk movement, the tree's overall development, and its structural strength. The third tree is the ficus, which her position, her expert opinion is that there's severe hardscape conflict evident in the structural root plate, which is the first sign of when the roots will start pushing the sidewalk up and the curve out. The root exposure at the surface and the buttress pushing the sidewalk and curb out has started. There's cracking, lifting, and displacement of the sidewalk and paver surfaces consistent with ongoing conflict. There's historic evidence of the branches being susceptible to failure. And then on the last tree, which is the staff report actually notes it as a Chinese flame. Our arborist notes it that it's a golden rain. I'm told in the weeds, I'm told they're from the same genesis and like two different species. So it's okay that they disagree there. That tree has poor canopy structure, historic cuts and uneven wound closure on the trunk and branches. There is evidence of root stress, poor root collar conditions, and the trunk taper below the primary union reduces the tree's ability to efficiently distribute canopy loads for its long-term structure.
Thank you. And in terms of what you're proposing in terms of maintenance plan,
Yes.
Can you also walk us through that as well?
Sure. So all of these improvements would be the pavers, the light poles, the flower baskets, the new trees would be maintained on the same standard as everything that is on Swarthmore today and on these materials on our property today
For how long?
in perpetuity,
Okay.
forever.
And then in terms of legal liabilities,
Yeah, we're required to indemnify. That's as part of the permit application process. That's why we can't accept option 1.
thank you very much. Commissioners, yes.
If I could circle back, I think Hector used the word maintenance, and maybe it wasn't the best or more accurate term. I think he meant that the applicant would be required to protect in place any of the remaining trees during construction, but then following that, ongoing maintenance for the trees would remain with the city, with UFD.
Thank you for that clarification. Commissioners, any questions for our Caruso representative? Vice President Chavez.
So in your arborist's expert opinion, I'll ask you the same question about what's the opinion of, I read the opinion. Can you talk a little bit more about how the replacement plan would produce a net canopy gain and how the replacement trees would outperform the existing ones?
Yeah, I think to all of the points that her opinions that we've discussed and that you read in her reports, over time, the long-term structure of the streetscape and the canopy would be improved in the full replacement plan because it is her opinion as a certified arborist that the trees, regardless of our improvement plan, like these trees have a low likelihood of long-term viability and survival, as you've seen by some of the ones that have already come down, as evidenced by the tree well that's full of dirt that we saw.
Thank you very much. President Pro Tem Grant.
I just want to clarify the last comment you made prior to Vice President Chavez, where the pavers, the lights, and the trees under your option would be maintained for in perpetuity,
Yes.
but not if the other option was approved. Did I hear that correctly, or what?
Well,
could you
we're not going
explain?
to do the other option. So if the other option is approved, we're not going to go forward with that plan.
Go forward with what?
Option 1 is not, to us, a viable project. So we would not do any of the improvements if the board approves option 1. Everything would remain as it is today. So it sounds like we would withdraw our application. Yeah.
All right, just to be clear, it's impossible for us to maintain the 4 trees. It's in the center of the project. We have to do a ton of demolition and grading to level out the sidewalk, or level out the surface below the sidewalk. And so if you do not approve option 2, we are withdrawing our application.
Thank you.
Say that again.
If we do not get approval today for option 2, option 1 is not viable, and we will withdraw this project application.
Thank you for that clarification. Any last minute questions, commissioners, before we deliberate? Anything else last?
No, I think that's fine. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. And UFD, anything you'd like to add before we deliberate? All right, commissioners, I think we should deliberate on this. I, for one, as all of you know, come from a tree planting organization. I take these matters incredibly seriously, as I've worked in my professional career to plant and preserve hundreds and if not thousands of trees. But given the potential public benefits and given where this project is in the Palisades area and hearing from the residents, I am inclined to support option 2. And also knowing the fact that if option 1 is approved, that none of this would be happening. And as you can see from the pictures, sidewalks are buckled. And as you know, the city, we're barely maintaining our sidewalks. And I am inclined to support the applicant's option number 2, but I want to hear from the rest of you before we take a vote.
Well,
Vice President Chavez.
Thank you. I think it would send a very strong message that the city supports streetscape improvements and beautification in communities, especially such as this one that has been through a lot. I want us to send the right message. We absolutely support and welcome partners with the city, especially in things such as infrastructure, where we could use all the help we can get. And I think this perfectly fits in, actually, with our wildlife recovery objectives with the Palisades community. It fits in line with what we're aiming to do in the future with infrastructure improvements. Once we hit that point, we're going to be doing a lot more of that, and so hopefully we can learn some things. And so I am happy to offer my support.
One last point is I do really respect our crews at UFD. I know they've done tremendous work on this project and assessing and reviewing all the materials. But as we've deliberated on many of these cases, I think the city as a whole, we tried to preserve our sidewalks and trees. But I think this is a unique opportunity where the applicant is willing to cover all the fees in perpetuity. I think we don't hear that very much in other parts of the city. And I think that is an added benefit where after these improvements are made, not the city, but the applicant will be preserving the sidewalks on an ongoing basis. So if any last minute comments before we vote? All right, then I'm happy to move. Is there a second?
Moving forward,
On
option two? I'll
yes.
second.
Okay, great. We have a motion by President Kang and a second by Vice President Chavez to adopt the report with specifying that we're approving option 2. Okay. So we'll start the roll call with you, President Kang,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant,
Aye.
and Commissioner Mitchell. Okay, all ayes. The item is adopted.
Thank you very much. With that, I believe that concludes our item for special agenda. The meeting is now concluded at 12:24 p.m.